Hey everyone, what if I told you that the biggest reason most YouTube creators fall behind has nothing to do with talent, equipment, or even time, and everything to do with how they work? Because here's what I see over and over again. Creators sitting down to make content, and 2 hours later, they've got half an outline. They've got a browser full of open tabs, and a growing sense that this whole thing just isn't working. Sound familiar? Here's the truth nobody talks about. It's not a motivation problem. It's a workflow problem. And once you fix workflow, everything else gets easier. Today I want to walk you through something. It's called the Rapid Batching Workflow. It's a system built around 3 simple principles that will completely change how you create content. No more wasted sessions, no more spinning your wheels, just focused, productive work that actually moves your channel forward. So let me ask you this first. When you sit down to create content, do you have a clear system, or do you just kind of wing it and hope for the best? Be honest with yourself on that one, because most creators wing it. And winging it is exactly why they feel exhausted and behind all the time. Let's start with the first principle, the 10-minute timer. Here's what I want you to try. The next time you sit down to outline a video, set a timer for exactly 10 minutes and don't stop writing until it goes off. That's it. 10 minutes. One outline, done. Now you're probably thinking 10 minutes is not even enough time to do it right. But that thought right there, that's the perfectionism talking. And perfectionism is the single biggest productivity killer to YouTube creators. Think about it this way. Have you ever spent 45 minutes on an outline and ended up with something you were still not happy with? Of course you have. We all have. But a 10-minute outline forces your brain into action mode instead of editing mode. You write fast, you capture your best ideas first, and you move on. And the beautiful thing is, your first instincts are usually your best instincts anyway. So here's what I want you to consider. What would happen to your content output if you could outline 3 videos in 30 minutes? Instead of spending 3 hours on just one. Think about that, because that's exactly what the 10-minute timer makes possible. Hi, I'm Dan at Being Lifted Media. If this content helps, please like, subscribe, and share the video. Now let's talk about the second principle. And this one is a game changer for anyone creating content in 2026. AI-assisted research. The research phase is where most creators lose the most time. You start looking for one statistic and suddenly you're like 45 minutes deep into a rabbit hole with nothing useful to show for it. But here's the thing. We live in an area where AI tools can help close that gap almost instantly. Need a current stat on YouTube watch time? Done in seconds. Want to know questions people are asking about a particular topic, say in your niche right now? An AI research tool can pull that together before you've even finished your coffee. This isn't about cutting corners, let's be clear. It's about using the tools available to you so you can spend your energy on what only you can do. That's bringing your voice, bringing your perspective, and your story to your content. The data is available, the research is accessible. The only question is, are you using what's right in front of you? Or are you still doing everything the hard way out of habit? So ask yourself this, how much time do you spend each week hunting for information that an AI tool could find for you in under 2 minutes? That time adds up fast. And that time could be going into creating more videos, connecting with your audience, or honestly, just getting some rest. Now here's the third principle, and it may be the most important one, and it may be the one most people overlook. It's your environment. Your brain is incredibly good at picking up on patterns. So when you sit in the same spot with the same music, the same lighting, the same cup of whatever you're drinking, your brain starts to recognize it as a signal that says it's time to create. Neuroscientists call this a contextual cue. I call it rhythm. And once you build that rhythm, getting into a deep, productive state stops being a struggle and starts being almost automatic. Here's what I want you to think about. Do you have a dedicated creative environment, or do you just create wherever you happen to be. Because there is a real difference between showing up to a space that your brain associates with deep work versus trying to create in the same spot where you scroll social media and answer all your emails. Same body, very different brain states. Building a rhythmic environment doesn't have to be complicated. It could be a specific playlist you only play during content creation, a particular desk setup, a candle you light before you start. The specifications don't matter. What matters is that you do it consistently, so your brain learns the signal. Now here's the big picture. The rapid batching workflow is really about one thing: removing the friction between you and your best work. A 10-minute timer beats perfectionism before it starts. AI research tools fill in the gaps so you can stay in the flow, and a rhythmic environment tells your brain it's time to perform. So here's my final question for you. What would your channel look like 6 months from now if you showed up to every session with a system like this? Focused, resourced, and ready to create. Because that version of your channel is absolutely possible. You just have to decide to work smarter, not harder. Pick one of these 3 principles and try it this week. Just one. Do you think the 10-minute timer or your environment principle will work best for you? I'd like to know. Let me know in the comments below. Start there, because small changes in how you work lead to massive changes in what you're able to create. Thanks. Have an awesome day. See you in the next one.